You're stuck. Should you buy Cmos or Dulse seaweed? Well, you come to the right place. Welcome to Herb Wars. In this series, we pit together popular herbs, 4 rounds, 1 winner. So if you want to find out which herb works better, then watch this video. Let's go. In the right corner, we have Cmos. Cmos or Irish moss is a red algae that grows in nutritious waters. This is one of the hottest herbs, the hottest seaweeds at the moment. Ladies are drinking it for its iron content. Men are drinking it to stay energetic, to sleep better. And how does that hold up against Dulse seaweed? Dulse seaweed is a serious contender. It's a nutritious seaweed and it's the underdog in this fight. People are using Dulse seaweed for the exact same reasons too, for its nutrients, for its potential B12 and for its energy benefits. Both of these seaweeds are red algae, so we're kind of fighting against brothers and sisters or different cousins, and they both have some libido, some brain benefits and other deep benefits too. But if you just was to buy one, who should you go to? Who's the overall reigning champion of the algae series of Herb Wars? So we're gonna have 4 rounds. The first round is benefits. We'll put the benefits of each herb up against each other and I'll decide who's the winner here. And you guys along the way, make sure you're keeping your scorecard to determine who you believe is the overall winner for each round. For each negative of these benefits, we'll take away a point too. The second round is nutrient density. How much of a particular nutrient is packed into these bad boys, and we'll see which is the most cost effective on the third round. And the last round, we're gonna do a live taste test to let you guys know which of these tastes better. So without further ado, let's get ready to rumble. The first round is benefit. Both contenders are coming up to the ring and we're going to see who wins the first round and who starts out very strong. To make it fair, we're going to use the same key terms I have in my herb guide, the 13 tick box system that categorizes each herb against its benefits. So for Cmos, Cmos is antiviral, anti-inflammatory, immune boosting, it aids digestion, aids weight loss, it has antioxidant benefits, aids performance, bodybuilding, menstrual benefits, and a ton of other benefits. Actually, on my 13-point tick box system, I have Cmos as ticking 13 out of 13. That is a full score. That's basically a knockout. So it's coming in very strong. It came with a couple left hooks, a couple jab, and it's trying to keep his opponent at bay. But how does that compare to Dulse seaweed? Dulse seaweed is a serious contender. It's not scared. It saw that look of fire in Mike Tyson's eyes of the Cmos and chose not to back down. It came in strong at 12 out of 13. And the only reason why is I couldn't find evidence that there's antibiotic properties of Dulse seaweed. But algae in general is said to have some natural antibiotic benefits or antibiotic effects positively for digestion or for fighting bacteria. So it's an extremely close round, but I'm gonna put Dulse as 12.5 and I'm gonna give the first round to Cmos. What have you put down in terms of your scores? In terms of taking away any points for any contraventions in terms of side effects, nothing really stands out. It's pretty straightforward. If you're pregnant, you're breastfeeding, be very mindful and be mindful of where you get some of these seaweeds from. So no points is taken away on this round. It was a very tight round. I know some of you judges at home might have scored it one way. I've scored it this way. Look, at the end, we'll tally up the points and see who wins. So we're not going to take a point away and we're going to move on to the second round, which is nutrient density. Now it's getting interesting. Nutrient density. This is a very crucial round. It can sway the match either way in either direction. So to keep it fair across the board, we're just going to compare a few vitamins, a few proteins, and some information on other nutrients within these seaweeds. And it's a bit tricky this round, especially from a judge's point of view, because Dulse seaweed contains all the trace elements that humans need, and humans need about 14 trace elements, and this includes zinc, copper, manganese, iodine and selenium, amongst a host of others. And its quantities within Dulse seaweed has been studied and is fully understood, whilst Cmos on the other hand is said to have around 92 minerals. But this figure, depending on who you speak to, is higher or way lower. There's a lot of different opinions in terms of what is actually within it, but from what I could find, 100 grams of raw Cmos contains around 50 calories. Of that, 2 grams is protein, around 9 milligrams is iron, around 60 milligrams is calcium, and around 3 micrograms is vitamin C. But different sources will give you different amounts, and these are somewhat averages, and gels might vary. So these figures are dealing with it in raw format, and a lot of people, of course, use it in gels, use it in capsules. But Dulse, on the other hand, Dulse flakes, Dulse leaves contain around 263 calories per 100 grams. Of that, around 18 grams is protein, about 35 milligrams is iron, around 220 milligrams is calcium, and around 243 milligrams is vitamin C. And as I spoke about, guys, the caveat here is people tend to eat Dulse in its format that it's in. When it's in water, it doesn't expand, and people eat it sort of like French fries, straight out the bag. And there's a growing trend nowadays actually of seaweed just in a packet and people consuming it just like that. So 100 grams of Dulse seaweed is relatively easy to consume, whereas 100 grams of seaweed is in a lot of gel, it's in capsules, it's relatively harder to consume because of the way people cook it and process it. Okay, so you at home, for when you're scoring this round, you have to weigh it in terms of how you consume it and how much nutrients is within what you actually consume. And I'm looking forward to a lot of information coming out about that. A lot of you guys are selling Cmos, so if you have any data on the gel format and the nutrition within it, comment down below, and we might have to go back to the judges and re-evaluate the score of this round. So it's controversial, and I as a judge might get fried for this, but because of the quantities within the actual gel and the quantities within the raw Dulse flakes, I'm going to now judge this round going to Dulse. So that brings it to 1-1, and let me know your thoughts in the comments. Third round, and this is where a lot of people get knocked out. The third round is price. 100 gram bag of organic Cmos will set you back around £13, and the same amount in Dulse seaweed for the exact, especially the one I buy, because I buy from a specific company, will set you around £14 for organic Dulse seaweed. And bear in mind, 100 grams of organic Cmos can create a ton of gel because it expands in water, and what we buy tends to be dried. Whereas Dulse seaweed doesn't expand in water. What you buy is essentially what you get. So Cmos, in my opinion, gives you way more bang for your buck, but both are powerful. The final round is taste, the ultimate taste test, and let's do it right now. A flake, it's alright. I mean, during these taste test episodes, I have tasted a lot of herbs that taste absolutely terrible, and I'll tell you right now, guys, both of these are I could eat this. And it's gonna expand once it mixes with my saliva, but I'll be honest with you guys, I like the taste of both. Maybe because I like the sea, and I like Dulse, I like kelp, I like salty things. I eat a lot of Himalayan salt and sea salt on my foods and stuff like that, so I like them both. It reminds me of the ocean. And I know a lot of people hate Cmos taste, and that's why they buy it in capsules. And a lot of people hate Dulse's taste, and that's why they cook with it and make all these different recipes. But which one tastes better and which one takes this round? And I'd have to give Dulse a very slight advantage over, because even though I like the taste of both, Dulse sort of wins it for me. So what I'm going to do, because I like both, is just give a slight advantage to Dulse, and I'm going to give Dulse a 0.5, and this takes the overall scores to 2 to Cmos and 1.5 to Dulse seaweed. And luckily, and I'm not saying this was done on purpose, but this avoids me doing a tiebreaker. But remember, it all depends on what your personal goals are, and there is no reason why you can't combine both. I personally make a Dulse and Cmos gel, combining both of them, and if you want to watch that video, click the I. And guys, remember, this is just a bit of fun, it's not gospel, and both of them have their own benefits. You can combine both. All right, so If you want to learn more about herbs, click on my face and get my herb guide. And before you go, check out these other 2 videos right here and right here. It's your brother Paulo Tote, certified herbalist nutritionist. I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.